Last week I explained the MMR system and mentioned Smurfs. I'll leave that video in the description and an end card at the end of the video. Rocket League has a big smurfing problem. Now, I know we're not the only game with Smurfs, but I think we're heading towards a tipping point. This isn't just a problem, this is detrimental to the game's continued success. First of all, I want to go over the terms of service to see what Psyonix is okay with to make sure it's not a problem in their rules. Okay, play by the rules, cheating. So this would be using mods or anything that could give an unfair advantage. Stuff like macros most likely applies as well. Griefing, this is the biggest thing. Griefing could include any actions that ruin the game experience for other players through trolling or harassment. Making an account to shit on lower ranks definitely qualifies as griefing. Playing for the other team is more of an example of griefing than a separate rule. Exploiting bugs, a bit of a side note. I would assume this means game-breaking bugs. There's an argument that mechanics like pinches and flick are more bugs than features. Boosting would include playing on someone else's account or playing on an alt to carry in a lower lobby. D-ranking is straightforward. It's just throwing games on purpose. Just play to win. Smurfing is not allowed. What you'd think. We define a Smurf account as an account that is intentionally abusing the matchmaking system for the player's gain or the gains of others. This kind of encompasses what we've mentioned so far. Players engaging in cheating or matchmaking abuse are subject to account suspension and or bans. Yeah, I'll come back to that in a sec. The actual rules are pretty standard. I don't really see anything that needs to be added or tweaked. If everyone followed these rules to a T, we wouldn't have a problem. Alright, what is Psyonix doing about smurfing and matchmaking abuse? As far as I know, next to nothing. Psyonix did mention suspensions and bans in their guidelines. I've heard extreme examples like people going from plat to SSL in a week and getting a suspension plus a reset on their rank and season rewards. Besides stuff like that, I never hear about bans or any action taken. I report every smurf I run into without getting any messages that they've taken action. Obviously, not everyone is going to be a smurf, but some of them are. Now, I know that some people are just going to peek, but how many smurfs are there? Let's look at some distribution charts. Compiled the distribution for seasons 14 before free-to-play to season 6 on a spreadsheet. I got all of this from the regular distribution posts that Psyonix, Ted, and Devin usually do on the Rocket League subreddit. I'll leave this spreadsheet in the description. We can see that season 1 of free-to-play halved the percentage of the plat to GC ranks, which is to be expected with the influx of new players. Looking past that, we can see that ranks grow back to their previous level as the MMR ecosystem levels out, but it doesn't stop. You especially see the growth in the range of Plat 2 to Champ 1. These ranks are seeing nearly double the distribution in Season 6 than they had before free-to-play. Why is that? While it is possible that players that started after free-to-play would start breaking into these ranks, that would just push the old players down and the distribution would stay pretty similar. There would have to be accounts that are able to quickly rank up. Last week's video, I mentioned the MMR boost that new accounts get when playing for the first time. Now, it isn't hard to get into these ranks with a Smurf account. It is possible that smurfing isn't the only problem. There have been changes to MMR values for ranks in this time period, plus massively increasing the player base for the first few seasons of free-to-play. While the data may not be skewed completely because of Smurfs, I think it's safe to say that they are majorly affecting the rank system. Okay, let's say the smurfing is as bad as I claim. What is the danger? Well, for one, there are players that are quitting because of smurfing. Now, this isn't like a dead game lull moment, but it should be taken seriously. I don't think the players that leave because of Smurfs represent a very large group, at least not right now. You may not care about players leaving, that's fair, as long as you also don't care about RLCS, regular updates, or Rocket League coming to Unreal Engine 5. Epic Games is here to make money. That is their only concern. If the game loses revenue, they notice. RLCS is a $1 billion esport because you and I watch it. To give you an idea of how much this hurts the entire ranked ladder, I want to talk about boosting real quick. If a high-ranked player boosts their low-ranked friend, this does a couple of things. First of all, it brings that low-ranked player up to higher lobbies, and it pushes the players that were in the same lobby down even further, and it demoralizes all kinds of players. You play ranked, you have no idea if the players got carried, grief, or just straight up smurfing. At the end of the day, the affected ranks are most likely to quit. They've invested enough time and energy to care about their games, but not enough to get past Smurfs. Losing our intermediate players is probably the biggest blow to the competitive side of the game. Keep in mind, Epic Games makes a lot of money off these players. Losing these players is nothing but bad. With the problem mostly outlined, where do we or Psyonix go from here? There's not going to be a perfect solution. With how messed up the rank system is, it will take time. Firstly, Smurf prevention. A little known fact, if you don't smurf, there is no level minimum if you join someone else's party. Whenever you make a new account, you have to be level 10 to queue rank. But easy loophole, make the person you're boosting the leader. The game only checks if the leader is level 10. Also, level 10 is really not that hard to get. With weekly challenges and all of the XP, it only takes a couple hours max. Then change the MMR system to use account age and matchmaking. If you got to champ in 10 games, then you need to be put with other 10 game champs. Put Smurfs in the same lobbies. You can also increase the MMR multiplier for new accounts. Winning all 10 placement games on a fresh account puts you around Champ 1 Division 4. Make that GC 1 or 2. And lastly, please report Smurfs every single time. Get your teammates and opponents to report them. While Psyonix may not always take action, more reports will raise it as an issue. And an account with multiple reports is going to be seen as an issue as well. Smurfing is definitely a problem, but I think I've said enough about it. I'd love to hear y'all's takes on it. Let me know what you think or whatever Smurf stories you have. Like and sub if you enjoyed it. Thank you.